Well, it's me again, and this is my podcast and my world, where I take you along on an adventure where we get to explore everything and anything that goes on in my mind. Oh boy, is it random, is it crazy, it's nuts, it's all over the place. So grab yourself a cup of coffee and let's have a good time. Well, hello once again, my friends. It's me. I'm Graham, and this is my world, and this also happens to be a podcast, so therefore it's called Graham's World Podcast. Welcome one, welcome all, welcome new subscribers, welcome old subscribers, welcome loyalists, welcome everybody. Today we're going to talk about, YouTube and gardening, so non-controversial, it's going to be wonderful. Oh man, well, I'll tell you the first thing I've noticed so far the last couple of days is it is getting brighter in the morning and it is getting brighter in the evening. So what that means is spring is on her way, and I am so excited. I cannot wait for spring to get here. It is going to be wonderful. Now, even though I'm not planning on doing any real hardcore gardening this year, I do have a lot of stuff I do need to get done. For instance, my garden out back there, it has to be, it kind of has to be redone. It has to be minimalized considerably. So we are moving, and I want to be able to leave it there, kind of. And so I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to go about doing it all, but I do have to do something to make it less maintenance and less crazy. So all of the 5-gallon buckets will probably be coming out. And then there'll be probably a ton more wood chips going down. The bench, everything underneath the stairs will be coming out. All of my personal stuff, everything I'm keeping is coming out. That would be including probably the self-watering 55-gallon barrels and that kind of stuff. So all that stuff will be most likely coming out. And will just be a big area covered in wood chips. And the reason I'm going to do the wood chips, one, it looks nice and looks kept, and the other reason is it keeps down the mud and that kind of stuff. And so if somebody has to walk back there to go do something or whatever, there'll be less mud and stuff for them to have to contend with or put up with. So that is that. We excuse me. We seem to be getting closer and closer and closer to buying a house. I feel it this year. I don't know what it is, but I feel it this year. And so the plan is, if we buy a house, this year is all about prepping for next year. So we're going to do what we can to put in a back to Eden garden, both in the front yard and the backyard, depending on if we get north facing or south facing sun and some other stuff like that. But I'm hoping to be able to put a apple orchard, basically, or apple and pear orchard in the front yard, possibly somewhere along the lines of 5 to 6 trees in the front yard. And we're going to put wood chips down, and it hopefully will just be this absolutely amazing, beautiful orchard by the time we're done. And all my trees are going to be pruned to the height they can reach. So we're looking about 7.5 feet, almost 8 feet is how high my trees are going to be, and that's where I'm going to prune them. And I'm going to do kind of a bonsai kind of thing with my apple trees and keep them real thin so I can throw a dead cat through them if I wanted to. and keep them open and airy. And hopefully I'll end up with something like what Paul Gauci has in his orchard with his apple trees. And if you haven't seen the Back to Eden Garden film, I highly recommend it. Yeah, if you're not a Christian, or if you're not a huge faith-based person, just be mindful that he is, and he does believe that Back to Eden Garden is gardening God's way. And so there's a lot of references like that. So just be mindful of that and be respectful if you can. But I do highly recommend checking it out. It is awesome. It is so awesome. And even if, me, who, is atheist, you get a lot of value out of it. There's a lot of fantastic information in there. But that's what I'm planning on doing in the front yard. The backyard, we would like to set up the 55-gallon barrels and kind of make a chicken run with them in one of the far back corners. And then I want to get some of that concrete wire and make big arches over them, and then possibly attempt to grow something up over them, up over the big arch, the big metal fence like arch, for instance, like grapes or something would be kind of fun. So we're going to be doing something like that. Hopefully, we'd like to be able to set it up so that we have a dog run that goes around the edge of the property all the way around. The other thing we want to do, we want to have a vegetable garden back there, but we also want to have a space for the dog and the kids to be able to play. And we want to be able to, like I said, have a kind of a dog run all the way around the edge of the property. So about 3 feet wide, all the way around the edge of the backyard, the edge of the property. So the dogs have access to the fence all the way around. Ideally, that would be the way to go. That way, it adds more protection to the backyard. So if someone wants to jump the fence, or a raccoon or something wants to come in, the dogs can be there to kind of hopefully steer them away. So that's the plan. And of course, the wife wants to get a couple of more Great Danes. She loves her Great Danes. So we'll see. So next year is all about prepping, and I'm going to take you guys along on the journey. We're going to do hopefully a video series that'll probably last quite some time, but all about prepping and making sure that it's showing you how to do it from scratch, from the beginning all the way through. And, it's kind of an urban homestead is basically what we're going to go for. And it's, as far as I'm concerned, it sounds like it's going to be so much fun. I've got so many fantastic ideas. We definitely want a shed in the backyard if we can. And it's going to hopefully be 100% solar powered. And it will be kind of a man den kind of thing, hopefully, and but completely off grid, which will be cool. Also be kind of fun to build an outhouse. If you're out in the backyard, you're gardening, or it's summertime, and you're playing in the sprinkler or whatever, and you don't want kids or whatever to go running through the house, soaking wet or getting mud all over the place. Just kind of a place like that. And it'll be a special, if I build an outhouse, it'll be a special outhouse with a composting toilet, I think. So, but that's yet to be nailed down in concrete. I'm kind of still unsure if that's what I want to do. But totally loving the idea of doing a lot of things. But the best part about the orchard in the front is it'll be really cool and unique, and hopefully do it right so it looks like landscaping. So to get to the front door, if we don't have a driveway, you kind of have to walk along the path through the orchard, and it'll be kind of a twisty path to get to the front door, which would be really kind of cool and fun, and I think it'd be really cool. So that is kind of what I have planned coming up for the next coming up year. So a couple of different things about YouTube. So I have been watching for the last couple of years now this wonderful girl. She has a YouTube channel called Lavenders and Leaks, or Lavender and Leaks, and her name is Katie. And like I said, I've been watching her for quite some time, and very intrigued by the fact that she doesn't really have that many videos, but she's got a ton of followers. It is so crazy. And almost the entire year last year, she took off. She did a couple of videos, but for the most part, she took a lot of time off last year and did some traveling and did some stuff for her, mental stuff, getting herself ready for adulthood or whatever. And she's still very young. I think she's still in her 20s. 24, 25, I think, or something like that. And but I was just watching her, and I don't know, I guess I'm fascinated by her to figure out, how she does it. She, for a long time there, was only releasing one video a month, and it was just kind of a what happened this month. So she would put it together at the end of the month and send it off, and then it'd be like, well, this is what we did, and all these little clips of her doing different little things and stuff throughout the month. And I think a lot of it had to do with the editing quality. She's very OCD, and so she's very nitpicky on how she puts her videos together. And I think that has been a big part of her secret to why or how she has developed as much as she has, because most of her videos are very, very, very polished and very well edited. So, but if you haven't seen her, go over there and check her out. She's absolutely amazing. I'm sure a lot of people have seen her. I think she's got like 12,000 followers or something like that. But she's got a lot of people watch her and follow her, and it's kind of strange, when you start thinking about how many people follow us YouTubers, and especially us gardeners. It's kind of crazy because there's extremes in our little community, where you'll have some people that will have huge masses of followers, and then you have other people who only have 15 or 20, and it's been that way for 4 or 5 years. There's a guy that I'm a really big fan of. His name is Bill Gardner, and he a really awesome guy, and I don't know a whole lot about his personal life. I know that he's had a couple of YouTube channels, and I don't know if he takes them down and gets rid of them or what. I know there was one that he had, and it was amazing, and something happened where he got depression. I think that's what it is. I think it's a depression thing, because he just deleted the whole channel, and he had, I want to say it was like close to 3,000 subscribers or something like that. And it only took him, about 3 months to get there. I mean, it was just weird. And so he started a new one, and boom, it was like overnight, instant. It was right back to where it was. I mean, it's crazy. This guy started Facebook groups, and for just gardening, and next thing you know, I mean, it's 12, 14, 15,000 members within a couple of weeks. I mean, it's crazy. And I try to pick my brain. I try to understand why or how these things happen. I've been here on YouTube, like I've said before, since 2009. I believe it's just channel's been here. Let's see, this channel's been here since 2013, but I've been on YouTube since 2009, and I started over again because my original channel was, well, crap. I'm sitting just over 400 subscribers now, which blows me away. Because literally a year ago, I was just at 200, and I couldn't get to 200. It was like 289, 288, 287, 189, 180. It was in the 180s for months and months, and it just would never go over 200. Or if I got over 200, like 208, it seemed like the next day all of a sudden I was back down under 200 again. And it's been this huge learning curve to try to figure out how to get the subscribers, and not only get the subscribers, but to get the viewers. I mean, you can have, and this is a thing that people, I think, miss sometimes. They're so worried about getting their subscriber numbers up. But just because your subscriber numbers are up doesn't mean that your views are going to be up. YouTube has this algorithm that even though you hit a bell and you say, okay, I'm going to hit the bell, I want to be reminded, I want to be notified when somebody has a video up, sometimes it doesn't happen. There's a really amazing guy in England, and he follows me all the time. He's just absolutely fantastic. And he puts up videos like 2 to 3 times a week, I think, sometimes. And I never, ever, 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 ever get them. And it's really kind of frustrating because I really enjoy watching him. But if I'm not reminded that somebody has a video up, after like 3 or 4 months, I'll watch them day in, day out, day in and day out. I'll watch, but if I don't get reminded, I stop watching because I can't remember everybody that I need to be watching. I noticed that with Babette. I noticed that with Terry. I noticed that with Grace. With Rob Bob. I love Rob Bob. I almost never get to see his videos because I have to go back, and then that's frustrating too, because you'll notice some time went by and oh my gosh, they've got like 20 videos that came up. You were never notified of any of them, and now you have to sit and watch every single one of them and try to get caught up, and then realize that 8 videos back they mentioned you, and it's like, crap. That really sucks, I mean, it's frustrating. And so I find that I spend a lot of my time going back and watching like videos that are a month old or 2 months old, and watching them forwards until I get caught up to current, because YouTube won't notify me that somebody just released a video. And it is very, very frustrating. I can't seem to figure out how to, I don't know. It's frustrating. I went through most of my people that I'm subscribed to, and I've got hundreds. But the ones that I know for a fact have the bell turned on, and there's not that many, really. I think there's probably about 45 or 50 people that I have interest in watching their videos every single day. And I try, if you have a video up and you're a new subscriber, I will sit and watch 3 or 4 of your videos, if you have videos up. But most of my subscribers, I've noticed, they're just watchers. They don't necessarily have videos that they have posted. Like for instance, There's a really awesome friend. I would consider her a friend. She's pretty cool. Her name is Tara Lee, and Tara Lee, we talk and chat a lot, and we've tried to meet up a couple of times. This last fall we tried to meet up and get to know each other, and kind of say hi and see each other in person, which would have been kind of cool. Anyway, she has no videos up, so, or at least she didn't, and so it's like, I wonder what you look like. You talk. Oh, darn it, I'm out of time. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
This has been a Graham's World broadcast, brought to you directly from Graham's mind. So stay tuned, because there's more to come.